Hello, and welcome to the 16th Tech Talk today. We are going to talk about tech-related topics as we always do. And we ask you to chip in, leave a comment, question, and we'll try to answer it right now. And since this is a live stream, but later on, when this gets turned into a video, feel free to reach out via comment or however you feel like it. So you can reach out directly about any questions that we have through help@46elks.com or leave a comment, leave a chat. We have a chat open here and I can see it, but for these purposes, sometimes I'll close it so I can show you some screens of some things that we are doing. So yeah. So welcome to the 16th Tech Talk. Today we are going to talk about, well, other forms and other channels, ways of communicating with your end clients, with business owners that want to build some sort of a channel, some sort of a communication with their end customers. I'm sure that all of you have. I know that I did work as a freelancer and worked as a person that tried to help small businesses with changes on their website, try to help them out in every way possible in IT related things. So I was always trying to do something to help them out and to kind of actually bridge that communication between them and the end client. So my kind of goal was actually to kind of figure out what was the best way of kind of communicating, them communicating with their end client. So sometimes, most of the times, that is a website for small businesses and for big businesses also. So websites are actually just another way of talking, communicating with your end client. We all want that for us, for the company, special place on the internet where we present us and our work. And we want that special place to be very representative of our work and what we actually do. So we don't want to overcomplicate things and bring unnecessary communication to our web page. And if we don't consider it necessary, we will throw it out of the web page, right? So please let me know if you disagree or some of the things that I mentioned don't add up to you. Feel free to reach out in the chat. So the thing is, we have always tried to kind of figure out the simplest way of communicating with our clients. And we don't want to burden them with some other extra forms of communication. So I think that when it comes to websites, it's quite clear that we don't want to push a lot of content and we want to make our message clear and we want to have people understand who we are and what we are trying to do. So I think that the same principles should apply to any channel and any form of communication. Today, we are going to talk about the simplest and the most universal way of communicating, where only in the digital world, the only older form of communication is actually a phone call and email. So we are going to talk about SMS. Yes, we do realize that we preach about SMS, and again, we do it through our service. We offer SMS as a service through our APIs, but don't get me wrong, sometimes it's a fact that you can do something better with a simpler way of communicating. So it's not me preaching about that you shouldn't overcomplicate. Sometimes overcomplication and complexities are fine, and we should invite them into our environment. But the thing is, sometimes, and it's always good in the start to kind of bring the complexities down and kind of learn on that communication that we have with our client. So yeah, I'm going to just share something with you. Just a sec. So I had created some sort of a demo for this, so we can actually see what I'm talking about. So let's talk about a potential situation where you work for a certain smaller mom and pop company that has it is quite important for them to have good communication with their clients. So when I say communication, it could be sending of alerts, different kind of news about certain changes. Um, they can communicate some other stuff, or you can communicate some other important info to them. So the thing is, we are trying to kind of figure out the best way for you, and I think that the best way would be the simplest way. So without further ado, I would like to share this demo that I made. So this is a very, very, very simple web page, which you can, the code for it, you can actually find it here. I'll share it in the chat. Just a sec. I'll share it here. So let me just do it this way. You can find the code for this on this link, so on GitHub. So on our official 46Elks GitHub. This is very easy to set up if you look at our previous videos where we dealt with building a server on DigitalOcean. So all you need to do, and I will link the actual links I will give you the actual links for the talks where we talked about and actually showed how you can do the changes, how you can build a web server of your own. So when you build a web server, all you need to do is actually copy paste this code, make minimal modifications on it, and you will be able to actually run this. So I will show you the code. So basically boils down to you changing this unique number. Why? We'll get back to it later, but it has to do something with us knowing what number do you mean? Because you can buy a number through 46Elks, but if we get some information, some text on that number, then we need to know where to put it. We need to know where to forward it. So it is a way of us having that URL where we make an HTTP post request and to whatever URL you have given us. So we actually send you that data in that way. This is a unique string, so you create a unique SMS URL. Let me know if this screen is too small and if you can't catch all of this. Perhaps I'll just zoom in a little bit. Not sure if I'll do it correctly, though. Oh, sorry. All right, so yeah. Basically what we are trying to do right now is set up a basic website where you or your client can track all of the messages that he or she got on a certain number. So what I'm saying is you don't have to build that communication channel and to help out your client get a better ways of communicating with their end clients. Building an app could be very simplistic, but using the channel that we are using is actually an SMS. SMS is a form of communication that everyone has on their phones. So the point is not to overcomplicate and put layers of complication on complexities on and make it a burden for your client. Because if you were to suggest building a very complicated app, for example, a mobile app, then that brings extra layer of costs and complexities of having to update that app, etc. And you're in the stages where you need to figure out that communication between you and your client. And perhaps a better way of doing things is by going about and just trying this, for instance. Yeah. So you can actually define what numbers will be recognized as certain names. I will demonstrate. I put in my number here. So in that application, so you will see that my name comes up when I send an SMS. And you can define the HTML, how it will look. It says SMS wall for that specific number. And it's just that. So I tweaked it a little bit. So you can see here, we have reservations today. So a restaurant tells you or asks you to help them out with the reservations. So you, as a developer, are going to be able to help them by running a simple LAMP server and putting this code that I had provided and just basically tweaking the code a little bit. You run this on their computer, like ordinary computer that has access to the internet, point it to your web server, and you will get this web page. And it can be placed in some place in the office, and people that work there can be alerted and can see exactly what's going on. This doesn't have to be used for reservations. So it can be used for comments. So you can actually take a number and put it somewhere and let people comment on something. And someone will be able to see those messages. I've used this to be able to get questions from the audience if I hold a lecture somewhere. So it's a big audience, not everyone has a mic, and you give them a voice by providing the number, and people send an SMS to that number, and then it gets projected on a screen like this. So I will test and send an SMS right now. So I had tested it before, but you can take a look at it here. So I will send this test message on this number. Click send. And I think that this will appear right away. Yes. So it says test from Rene. It says my name is here because I had put it so in the code and had tweaked it a little bit. But same applies for anything. You can have it so that you display it very publicly, and people will be able to kind of take a look at it and get the information that they need. So it's a very simplistic way of having bridge that communication gap between you and your end users. So between the companies and the end users. So I think that's a pretty cool feature. It's a way of having that SMS as a channel of communication, and where it's really something that you get to empower all of your end clients and not to bother them with extra layers of complexities that are possibly not needed at the early stages. So that is basically what I wanted to share with you today. If you have any comments, questions, feel to reach out directly to me. Comment below. Just let us know if you want us to cover something else. We will give it our best. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If anyone doesn't have any extra questions, have a nice weekend. Relax and enjoy. Yeah, that's it.